Okay, hey everybody. In today's video, I want to talk about this with, some people coming up with their own, I'm not going to call them theories, or conspiracy theories. They come up with their own ideas or suspicions or whatever about what's going on while they're doing food delivery or groceries, any of these kind of delivery gig work. And why is it happening and all that. Well, it's always going to be fiction. Because since when? See this person, what just happened right there? You didn't see it, but he ran out in front of me, he or she, and somebody was turning there. Never do that. I'm not telling anybody what to do, but I just mentioned something like that to Adam right before I left. Okay, that kind of got me off that topic, but yeah, like somebody's coming towards you and they're or you get in this turning lane and there's somebody at the other turning lane and you're at a light or you're not at a light, whatever it is. It's a real busy road and you can't see everybody who's coming that other direction and people behind you want you to go. You can't see it. I was telling him, don't go. Flashing yellow light, arrow. Why are you going to go when you can't see who's coming? He's one that when he goes with me, he goes, go ahead, try to make it. So I cannot see. Like in this turning lane here, and somebody's in the turning lane there to go the other direction. I can't see all the cars coming up. This is 45 miles per hour. Can you imagine if they hit me? Think about it. I see so many people do it. That was a topic for another video, but look at what happened. But yeah, it's very dangerous. And why am I going to risk my life because somebody wants to get to where they're going a minute faster? Really, I don't care if they wanted to get there, whatever. It's not, they're not going to be the one in my grave. So, it's just like they're not going to be the one that's going to pay for my ticket. What some people think, and I don't want to be like too many of these delivery people I've seen that, they drive like the old-fashioned stereotype of now I'm doing it. See what happens? The old-fashioned stereotype of taxi drivers, T-A-X-I, drivers that used to be. I don't know if they're still use the same one. Same stereotypes. Stereotypes are not good things, Yeah, especially if they lead to some kind of prejudice or they are based on. Yeah, not a good thing. And then discrimination. Anyway, but now let's try to get back to that first topic. How about that? Okay. Now, what spurred me on is that since I would say maybe a month now, give or take, and I really haven't been getting that many offers to do this food delivery stuff. Hardly any offers. And I used to turn it on and boom, 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 boom. They send me these bad ones, the ones that nobody wants to take, and I don't either. And then they'd send them back again and again, and yeah, my AR is all due to me. When I say no, it means no. I don't want it. I don't want to see it again. They'll do it several times, seriously, several times. Send it. So I stopped getting those, and I thought it was because of something I was doing, but it could just be that there are other people at working. And I've said this before. These are not our jobs to dole out. That we get to say who gets to work and who doesn't get to work. If somebody is legally able to, allowed to work. Okay, I don't know how this works here. Right here, I have never seen anything like this before. Turning lane always had a turning lane. So, I don't know how it works there. I don't think you could see down the road there. It's very weird. It's a brick in between bricks. So, otherwise, let me see if I can get this out. Otherwise, it has they have the actual turning lane with an arrow. These don't have any arrows for either side. I guess they have it open for people who are going out of here. Don't know. That's just not the norm. This whole road here is not the norm. All the way down it, seriously, it's very different. Very, very different. Anyway. Okay, where was I? Decided to get me something to eat. According to the predictions, I don't know what you call them, that these things give. It's not busy right now. Well, no, it's 9:37. But last year, and I think part of this year, that's when I would get more offers, was in between I've said this so many times, in between the actual run hours. Yeah, not hours, really. It's like noon hour. 12 o'clock p.m. hour that I would see, that I would get, I wouldn't get offers then. Or I don't remember what time it was for dinner. I think it was before 7. But especially at 9, I'd start getting, offers. Anyway. But all of this is, like right now, what I'm thinking right now is just because of college students, university students. They're out for the summer. They got out about a month ago. And some of them here. Why is that not doing right? Some of them here got out a month ago. And they're out there and they're doing it. They probably do it every chance they get. During the interims and during holidays and stuff like that. Adam was one to tell me that, no, these kids out here are spoiled rotten. They're not going to work. Their parents pay for everything. I don't know, smart parents, in my view, smart parents would be ones who taught their children independence. So that's my view, if possible. And not everybody is, it's not possible for everybody. So, there's always exceptions. This kind of rule. Anyway, but anything that I think, once they realize all the weather and all these problems that keep them down, they'll go and get other jobs, and then it'll be, or once, I've said I started last July, at the end of last July. Well, that's around the time that these students are going back to their dorms or, getting prepared. Some of them. See, when I was in, I don't remember it starting that early as it starts now, but times change. So, but all of it's fiction, as I put it. It's just fiction, because I'm never going to know, really, for certain what's causing this. I don't even have any clue how many people deliver in these areas. I used to, when I first started, I was like, maybe it's not that common here. This part of Texas, north of Texas, north and northeast, is where I usually am, in the suburbs, in Collin County. But maybe it's just not that common, because I would hardly ever see them. Then all of a sudden I started seeing those the people in the old gray cars, kind of beat up, scratched up, usually it's like, sometimes it looks like they've had an accident. And they're not really careful drivers. They have a hubcap, at least one, not at least, but quite often at least one hubcap missing. They're older, they're cheap models, inexpensive. Doesn't match the people driving it. They look more like upper middle class. So anyway, I call it a fleet. But that's a great competition. That's why I talk about it, because am I going to be able to compete against them to get any good ones? I've only had one today when I looked, and it was not that great. Where I am now, it wanted me to go pretty far up, and we're supposed to have rain again sometime today, and we have pop-up. There's nothing on the map, doesn't show it's going to happen, there's no big thing, and all of a sudden, boom, there's a really bad storm. When I'm driving, you might see a lot of trees down. Still down from that really bad storm. The highest I heard was 83 miles per hour winds. Hurricane force winds is what they said. So, I think I've already said that. Anyway, I'm going to try again. Okay, so I wasn't getting any offers, so, but it's still like, it's what, 5 minutes till 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. And I don't know, what I was starting off to talk about was, when you come up with some ideas, I think that's very normal. My degrees are in psychology and sociology, and I would say that it's pretty normal for some kind of job like this, because a person has to prepare themselves, or they have to figure out, change what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, whatever. It's to come up with, why would it be this way right now? Should I hold off until then, or should I go in this place or that place where it's less likely? And you see, like this, I think that's normal. If a person just was more like, I've seen some people who drive, they seem like zombies. Don't dehumanize people, but that zombie kind of, what was it? Like, it used to be like cartoons, they said that they had their hands straight out and they're walking like they're not even there. Really, seriously, they're not there when they're there. But tailgaters, I've seen them look like that. When I would look up at them, I'm like, whoa. They're just zombies. But anyway, you're figuring out something, you're thinking, you're actually, thinking. I know a lot of people don't want us to think. That's another one. That's just fiction. That's more like a conspiracy. But, not to think about, just do. I'm one who's going to think. And I think that this could be that the students, what do you think? I mean, what kind of reasons do you have? Like we all have been able to say, and maybe it's very true, have reason to say, and maybe it's true, that, last month, well, not last month, this is June 3rd, in April, people were doing their taxes, early on, and then they were trying to recover from the shock of it all. I know I was. I mean, I hardly made any money to count for, but because I'm getting this, I live in Texas, and I'm getting this affordable care, and then I canceled it because there was no way I was going to make that much from end of July onwards. It was unbelievable. It seemed like I worked so much, and then when I finally added it all up, or I got that thing in the mail from it, for the taxes, I was like, that's all I earned, and wow, the shock, just that shock. But then 6 pages, 6 forms. Adam did it. I still haven't heard back from him. They're probably sitting there looking at and laughing, at the IRS. I had considered getting, because they kept saying, well, what you really need to do is to have one of those, and they, the tax people, whatever it was, they'd hint at it, which one, or, yeah. And I told Adam, they're going to charge me more than I earned. I'm saying, it's not, for me, it's not about the money. I don't need the money, but I have to prove to the government that I made a certain amount of money. You see, there's a big difference of needing the money. I wanted to pay for it just flat out myself, and that's it. It's on me, just, flat out. And they said, well, you have to go through this process and stuff. And I'm finding out that might not be the case. They didn't give me enough information to find out all of it, because I just wanted to pay for myself. Not go through all this. I have to earn a certain money. If I didn't have that, I would feel so much freer, of course, And I do this still because I kind of like it. Really, my master's degree is in sociology. I can't use any of this because of the edema. The reason I'm trying to get the health insurance is what causes me not to be able to work. And this is the only thing I could do because I can go home when I need to. Because of this edema. Oh, what a vicious cycle. It truly is. Did I mention I live in Texas? Yeah. But anyway, I like doing this kind of stuff. I don't like just sitting here waiting for stuff, but I like doing. I like going to houses. Like I said, my master's degree is in sociology, so that's just right up my alley. You'll see so many different people, so many different, homes, how people, even how they do their front. Some have a, just a little part, at the outside their front door, the entranceway, or some have really elaborate, porches. You can call them porches, whatever they're called. What is that word? Is it veranda? Whatever it is, whatever style they have. And, it's so nice to see how they decorate it and, all this. And then there's some of them that are downright scary. I remember one place I delivered to, and I called, and I called the customer. It was a young man. And I said, can you come out to the front, come out to the road to get this? He understood. Actually, I don't think I asked him. I don't remember how I worded it, but he came out to the front of it because that was a compound, my friend, or something like it. It was dark, and the road to get there is like all of a sudden, boom. That happens a lot around here, a lot. Out on the outskirts of, that's kind of like any place I've ever known, on the outskirts of town, kind of thing. And the roads were like what I experienced just, a few days ago. The roads were like you're driving down, it's asphalt, and because of all the heat and the way that it is, it seems like the road is going to scratch, just put a brand new shine on the the underbelly, I think they call it, of your vehicle, because it's so uneven, man. And anyway, that all of a sudden out there, Adam was actually with me, and Adam grew up, was born and raised in a country across the globe, and I'm Texan. I'm born and raised in Texas, in the roughest, toughest town in Texas. That's the way I put it. But I know the score, and went out there, and I called. I don't remember how I called or texted the guy. Don't remember exactly what I said. It was dark, no road lights. It's all real country, and Adam was all freaked out. He said, this is scary. He's older than I am, and so I called the guy, and I had to actually turn it was at the end, not, you can call it a cul-de-sac if you want to, but I wouldn't, not kind of, but I turned it around to where I get back in, and I can, zoom, take off, scratch the bottom of my SUV up nicely. But anyway, it would have taken off that fast. But I called the guy, and he came out. He was a young white guy with long hair and all this stuff. But the house itself was kind of like down a hill and way far in the back, and it was pitch dark. There was no way I was going to go up to that house. So the guy came out. People will do stuff like that if they're hungry enough. I've delivered to one place, and I did not know. I don't do apartments because of my knees. I busted up both of my knees back in 2017, and it was not my fault, just to put it that way, make it short. And then I re-injured the left knee in early 2020. Yeah, I just kind of briefly passed out or something. I don't know. Yeah, I think I had it then, February 2020. And anyway, where was I going with that? But I don't do apartments because of it. I had at first tried, oh my goodness, I had it was, like I said, July, and this is Texas. And I walked up one of these stairs just to the next floor, and up, and the stairs felt like they went straight up. They didn't, of course, but they felt not at a good angle. And it wasn't one that had, Adam says it's called a landing, and then you go up the next part of it. He said that, from what he understood, that has to be, why are you sitting behind me? Drove up behind me to the side. But anyway, he said that they do only so many steps, and then they have to have a landing now, and then they go up to the to the next floor you're going up to. These older ones like I told him, they probably got grandfathered in. They're not like that. And I got up to close to the top of it, and the railings stopped. Like on the first, they had railings on both sides. Then the one on the right just stopped for the rest of the way. And it was hot. It was Texas July or August, and the wind pushed the heat toward me. I thought I was going to pass out. It was a cross between, am I having a panic attack or something? Or is it that heat was so bad, and the wind, and the walking up, and the whole thing, it could have been both. So I don't do them anymore. I mean, I have, but, sometimes I just call the people and say, can you meet me here? Or I'm not sure which side, because that is bad. You don't want to have to walk up to the 3rd floor in Texas in the heat to the 3rd floor with these kinds, and then have to go back down and go back over to the other one, because those signs, I thought they were called legends. I don't know. But those signs that say building number this, and then this to that, to this to that, but it doesn't say which side. Okay, seriously. And if you think they're numbered 101, 102, 103, 104, think again. Yeah. Okay, so I tried a few times, turn it on within an hour. Each time I turned it on, I'd wait and nothing. I had to. The last one was something like $10 for 28 miles. That's not going to happen. Not for me. And usually I go out to that direction, so it won't give me those that are 20 something or 104.1 miles, something like that. Oh my goodness, but nope. And that was one, and the other one I've already mentioned, I think. But I can't remember all these. After a while, they start blurring. They're just not good. It was 2. They weren't good, and that's a lot of waiting. And yep, I don't know if you saw that, but the woman was kind of far apart in the turning lane part. Stopped behind the car or whatever in front of her, just like this one right here. They're real far back. That is. I can drive by them and look over, and they're doing exactly what I expect. Texting. Yeah. So they're real far behind the person in front of them. Then when the light changes, they're sitting so into their text, they don't go. I can look right now. Yep, somebody's sitting there. It's like, my goodness. I don't know. I think that maybe the light had changed, but and then they'll look up and they'll go ahead and go, and then they can get the light, but the people behind them can't make the light. They'll turn on the yellow or something. Yeah, you learn the patterns while you're driving. But yeah, I think I mentioned that about Adam saying this about driving and turning. Yeah, I told him I don't believe in jinx and stuff like you can't jinx somebody or jinx yourself. But I told him jokingly, he knows I don't believe in it. I said, you jinxed me, and now I'm afraid to go out, or not really. Of course, it's joking, but he said, no, I knocked on wood. Now, he would believe, but not really. He's an electrical engineer, very logical in that respect. But, as far as that, but he was raised with it. They do believe in, these things. My mother was the first conspiracy theorist I ever knew. So, anyway, I think I'm going to go home for a little bit and then try going back out.